I have done as a medical officer job. I have done 2 years of work in pediatrics department and 2 years of job in internal medicine department too. And if PD will ask me why you have changed your subject or something like that, I will tell them because once I graduated from a medical school, I really wanted to experience before coming to the point that I want this particular subject, because at that age I was very young and I could not decide what kind of a specialty I want to choose. So I wanted to have an experience and then I wanted to make my decision. That's why first I took experience in pediatrics department for 2 years, and then I came to realize that I really like kids. And then again I worked for in a primary care clinic for 2 years in department of internal medicine, and I worked with lot of elderly people and young people as well, and also adult. So I came to realize that I love working with every single age group people. Hence, after gaining all these working experiences, I came to realize this particular department I want to pursue. Any feedback will be appreciative.
Did you do a home country residency back home?
Yes,
You did in which branch?
pediatric department and internal medicine department.
No, I mean the 3-year residency that you do in your your home country.
Sorry?
Like I
The
like
post.
I can be a MD intern. I can be MD medicine in India if I do my 3-year residency in internal medicine, right? Like I have worked in maybe I have just worked in psychiatry as well for 6 months, but that doesn't mean that I have done a residency in psychiatry, right? I just served there as a medical officer.
Yeah.
So
Have
like,
you
did
done
you?
any post-graduation? That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
post-graduation
Oh
after
no,
engineering?
I haven't done any post graduation because I was not sure that. Oh, the
Yes.
question is about
So the
like if you
question,
have done some post graduation back in your country, then why are you
yeah,
changing?
the
Absolutely.
question is applicable to people who have done some
Okay,
post-graduation or
I'm so
who have
sorry.
a
I just
residency.
Yeah.
I
Like there are a lot of
misinterpreted
people
this.
yesterday who changed their specialty
Sorry.
from derma to IM or OBGYN to IM. Like they are MD back in their countries, right? They are a postgraduate student back, but now they want to shift to IM in US or maybe family medicine in US. So yeah, that is what the question is. But yeah, anyways, if there's no one, then we can shift to the second question. What is the most important decision of your life? And the third question would be, why do you want to leave your family and come to US? Or like, if you miss your family coming here, what will you do? That would be our third question. So you can just think about interesting answers in your mind, and we can just get a perspective. Yeah, anybody wants to answer this? Should we move to the next question? What is the most important decision of your life so far? Anyone, or should we go to the next question? Okay, like we'll just shift to the next question. Like, what is the most important decision of your life so far? Anybody wants to go with that? Go with the answer for that question. Anyone? Harshada, do you have an answer to that question?
Ayushman, can I answer? Dr. Ayushman, can I answer about this?
Yeah, of course, of course. Feel free to answer. Go ahead. Dr.
So I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I want to try that. If I'm leaving, so what was your question? Can you please ask me again?
Question is like if they're asking what is the most important decision of your life so far?
So the most important decision of my life was getting married and coming to the USA, because it was a big step. Leaving my family, leaving my friends, leaving my work, and uh, coming to the new place, learning new languages, getting to know different kinds of peoples, and adjusting in this environment. It was a big decision for me, but I still did it, and I'm happy now. So it was a very big decision of my life.
That's a very, very good answer. Like it shows how adjusting you are and how strong you are that you shifted with your complete family to a new country, to a different to a completely new culture. So that shows how strong you are. So like even Marvel, like the for me also the biggest decision would be coming to United States of America, leaving my country. But I don't know how to frame that in an answer because the next question will be why you want to leave US? Why do you want to leave your home country and come here? So anybody wants to answer this question, please go ahead.
We can talk about the US healthcare system, that it is better than back home. We won't say that it's the best and the back home is the very like we belong to a developing country, and the US healthcare system has more advanced infrastructure, and it's a better platform to get trained in. Plus, then you can start talking if you're married, and then you have a family here, and
That's again a good
like if
point.
we start with that, okay, I got married and I moved, like I had earlier in my mind, I did a mock interview with some resident, and he said, no, if you start saying that, then that's it. Oh, it's the compulsion kind of a thing that, okay, now she's married and now she just left her job and moved. So let's just first have a base of US healthcare system and then build up your answer on that. Yeah.
Dr. R.
Thank you so much.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so like Dr. The said, we can like start off with, I've always wanted to pursue my residency in USA because of so and so, right? Like start of great technology, more opportunities. And as I'm preparing for my USMLE journey, I got married and then I moved to the US. Like, I mean, we can frame this one on like that, right?
Okay.
Yes, I think so.
So we right now the question that's a good point, of course. Like we can just, but right now the question is like, what is the most important decision of your life so far? So we can just stick to that. And if you have if you want to talk about your marriage, you can definitely go. Yeah, Erica, go ahead with your answer.
So hi. So my answer will be so the most important decision I've taken in my life so far was in 2013 when I decided to drop a year. I did not secure a seat when I applied for the first time, and I took decision to drop, and everything was so uncertain that time. The odds were against me. It took a lot of determination and patience to get a seat in one of the best institution in the country. So yeah, that was the biggest decision I've ever made, and I'm very grateful for that.
Very, very nice answer according to me, Erica. It's a very well framed, and that's a very good point. You know, it's take guts to drop a year just to pursue your dream. So yeah, that's a very, very good answer. Yeah, Dr. Tapasvi, you can go ahead with your answer for sure.
Yeah, so my toughest decision was came here in USA, but my goal of came to here was my family ties because all my family moved here in USA. So I also shifted here, and another reason was that I really like health infrastructure and multidisciplinary approach, which is here in USA. They are working like a team of nurses, medical students, pharmacists, social workers, and another thing I really like is evidence based practice here in USA. Like they are not only looking for best treatments, but also they have a very high infrastructure, high experienced faculties. From that, I can become a better physician in future. And these all my reasons to come here in USA.
It's a very, very good answer. And just try to include, just let them, indirectly tell them that where how many months you rotated and which places you rotated, right? So they can just have a more idea about like your whatever you have achieved so far, right? Otherwise, it's a very, very good answer.
Thank you so much, Aisha.
Yeah.
Can I go next?
Go ahead, Harshita. Yeah.
Yeah. According to me, the most toughest decision that I've taken so far is pursuing this USMLE journey. I knew that a lot of sacrifices would have we have to sacrifice a lot, and that includes leaving my family and moving to a new country. But at the end of the day, I'm really glad and fortunate that I have the support of my husband, who's been through thick and thin for me in in this journey of USMLE. Is that okay? Like modify the answer.
It's a good answer. Like anybody wants to give a feedback to Harshita? I don't think I'm the right person to give a feedback every time. Anybody wants to just give a feedback to her quickly, and then we can shift to next person.
Hi Harshita. It's a good example. If we just can frame it little better in a better way, then it will really sound nice.
Okay, do you
So
want me to add or delete anything from that, or
no, just frame it properly. Like structure it properly. That you took this was the important decision of your life. Odds were
uh-huh.
against you, and what else did you mention? You made so many sacrifices. Just mention a point or two about the sacrifice you made, and then how people are helping you, how your husband is helpful, and how you got through that, and you are here finally. So
Okay,
that was,
okay. Thank
and
you
you are
so
glad
much.
that you made that decision. So yeah, it will sound nice.
Okay, thank you, Harita.
Yeah, so yeah, Riddhi, you just mentioned something in the chat box. You can go ahead with your point and you can get the feedback from everyone.
I was just wondering if we can just include the same most impactful experience. Just trying to give my feedback that
You have
instead
to
of
ask something for kids,
thinking,
not something for.
because I think we have put a lot of mind in putting the answer for that era's question. So I think they both sound the same. Most impactful experience of life or most important decision you have taken.
So that like you can just judge. Do you think that is the most important decision? You can just talk. It should not be necessary that coming like for everybody coming to you, US is the toughest decision. You might have like different experiences in your life which you can definitely talk about,
Okay.
right? So that just depends upon like what kind of experience you have and how you can put it in an answer.
Okay.
Okay, so Dr. Sapta, just go ahead with your answer.
Oh, thank you. Actually, I just joined late. Hi, everyone. So I will talk of course, one of my important decision was, one of my conscious decision was like pursuing pediatric, and I'm also living with that dream right now. Because of my instant connection with the children for their lively vibes, and also from my experience, I got immense work satisfaction by just seeing the immediate positive outcome after the right procedure, like resuscitation and something. So that has actually dragged my interest. So even if there was like multiple options of choosing other alternative branch, but as I was among top 1% through national entrance examination, but with respect to all other branches, I chose pediatric for my passion, and it was not just a mere chance. It was a like conscious decision, and also right now also I'm extending my passion through this USMLE journey.
That's amazing answer. So yeah, really nice.
So I think we can talk 30-40 seconds. It's not that long, I feel so.
So, Dr. Sapta, recently, yeah, we have been meeting Dr. R with us. So
Yeah.
she had an interview yesterday, and she had the interview for 40 minutes each, like with two people. So I think 40 minutes is a very long time, and you just have to, pull
Yeah,
over.
like
And you need to
if
have long
the
answers.
program director is listening to you, you can like go on talking. Because also 2 days back, I had, it was not like formal interview, but it was kind of like informal interview with the PD of like neonatal fellowship. So because I haven't applied through the ERA, but she just saw my resume and she contacted. So it was a like nice experience, and it was like very informal. It extended up to 1 hour. So I feel sometimes if it's something interesting and the PD is not like stopping you, you can talk for 30-40 seconds more. It's not that hard.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I have a question. Is informal talk okay, or you think that they are not going to select you? That's why they are talking like this. So
No,
informal.
no. I mean, while that is a like formal interview call, don't talk like this for sure. But actually, I have applied for the research position. But as I've done my residency and all, she from herself she started asking why you haven't applied for fellowship and how you would like to do if you got a chance for so that way. So that's why I just tried to be kind of more open up. Otherwise, I think starting in a formal way is always better if you don't know someone and if someone is not asking something from his or her side.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The
That was
the
like
PD.
not a part of residency. Yeah, I was just looking for research position and that's why I just met that person. So but it was kind of interview because she was constantly asking about my experience in NICU and everything, but like she was giving me adequate time to listen and understand like that's why I feel like if someone is interested to talk your story then you can like extend for 30-40 seconds, otherwise just stop there.
Okay, sure. You are mute, Anush.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So even I feel like that is something that we have to judge. Like you had an interview of 40 minutes. So if we think that maximum of questions are covered in 20 minutes only, so we just need to slow down so that we can cover more of the time and we don't end with the interview as so like way ahead of the finishing time, right? So that is like your judgment. Like if you know the time is too much, just go ahead with a little bit longer and slower answers, right? When it's just 15
I
minutes,
don't know. The time is limited because there was the Zoom meeting that the coordinator planned was timed. There was like time. They started like 40, and then it would go down to 0. So
but
even
still,
the interviewer had a limited number of time. It's just not us. It was just planned in a way that she will just um,
but still
jump
40
from
minutes
one
is
room
like
to the other room
40
in a
minutes is
way.
like too long. Man, it's like too much time, right?
Too much time. Yes.
Like what do
Also,
you?
I
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And
also I
also,
think
okay, go ahead. Sorry,
yeah, can
sorry.
I go?
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
I think you judge from the PDs or the interviewer face. If he looks interesting, you can go on with your answer. Otherwise, you can just stop in 30-40 seconds. So, like somebody mentioned, you have to have your presence of mind to know what is going on and everything.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
PD in the beginning said, like the police says that anything and everything that you say will be recorded and can be used against you. So be extremely professional.
And
That's what the
also,
police said in the
yeah.
beginning of the interview.
And also that's why I feel like it's not about the quantity, how many questions you are attending. It's about the quality. Whatever you are saying, that has some purpose of saying, so that they will get some positive feedback after listening that answer. Even if there's 4 question, 5 question, it's okay, but that should like portray you in a positive way.
Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, we should just even try to cover more questions, as much as questions possible.
Reem, did you eat?
So we can just give maximum
Uh,
perspective, to the.
Dr. R, did your interview last for 40 minutes or it ended before?
No, it was 40 minutes. One of the interviewer extended it for 3 minutes just to say me goodbye. But the other one was like, I was like, don't extend. I was just praying in my heart, don't extend, please, don't extend. He said, okay, we are.
What's your like branch? Is it for IM or FM or any other branch? If you
No,
don't mind.
it's another branch. I have applied everywhere, thinking maybe I get something.
Okay, it's for IM.
No, it's not for internet.
So which branch you got interview? If you
It's
don't
a
mind.
radiology program.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Doctor, as you mentioned that you applied everywhere in every specialty, did you had experience for each of them or just
Yes.
you randomly applied?
Yes. Old, having an advantage of being so old graduate. So yes, I had. I don't think you can apply without experience or without letter of recommendations. I don't think so.
So like I'm just curious, how many branch you have applied, like radiology, and along with that, if you want to just say a little bit, it's
So I think like we'll just Dr. Sapta will just take the questions right now so that everybody
okay. Okay.
can answer.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I'm sorry about that. Like, then
Yes, yes. Like it was just a curious question, nothing. Okay.
type in the chat box if you're comfortable.
Yeah.
So yeah, anybody wants to answer like other question, like what was the most important decision of their life, and then we can shift to the question like why like why you want to leave your family and come to US, or how would you deal with your family back home when you miss them. So like right now the question is, what is the most important decision of your life? Anybody wants to answer this question? Just feel free to answer anything. Like no question is right or no answer is completely right and completely wrong. You can just put your viewpoint and people can give you the feedback.
Yeah, I can say something regarding.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so maybe we can mention, or for me, I can mention about like everyone has their own, comfort zone, and trying to go out of your comfort zone is really important in medicine. So and most of us have like been, away from their home country. If like most of us, I would not say all of us, but still like most of us are like in the US or in other places, like trying to pursue career there. So that's a big really a big an important thing, to be away from your family, from your beloved one, but still like you're doing this for your own benefit and their own benefit as well, and and to be like it's good to be challenged, in a way. And this is one of the things that would teach us maybe more, how to deal with challenges, or how to deal with difficult situations. And this is a way of sharpening, our personality towards like being professional doctors. I don't know. This is maybe, that's what I have. I don't know how, like it needs for sure to be polished, but still like that's one of the points that, or some of the points in my head.
So Dr. Sapta, the question is, the question is the most important decision of your life. Like if you're asking about the question, we are here. So yeah.
Okay, okay. I just thought like it's a most important challenge. Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah, you can even talk about like the most important challenge you had. The questions are similar, like answer is going to be similar, right? The most
Yes, yes.
challenge or the most difficult decision you took so far, or like the most important decision of your life so far.
Can I answer this question next?
Go ahead, please, Dr. Ariba, go.
So thank you for the question. My answer to this question would be, there are two decisions in my life, I think, that had most significantly impacted my life. And the first one would be joining medical school or going into medicine. And the second one, the more recent one, I would say, has truly impacted my career and my path of life, would be choosing to take my research position that I'm currently at. I started working in research about 15 months ago, at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital as a research assistant. And that was probably one of the toughest decisions I had to make. The reason for that was, it was an important decision. It was a very transformable period in my life, where I was transitioning from a life of comfort back in Pakistan with my parents, and then I was moving to Philadelphia, a city that I had never been to before. And the reason why this was so important for me to do as well, because it was a break that I was taking in my career, going from being into clinical work, coming into choosing to do research break for about 2 years before I stepped into residency. The decision impacted my life in many ways. One thing was, I definitely stepped out of my comfort zone. I left my cats behind. I left my parents behind. Starting a new life for yourself in a different city really changes you, makes you more independent, and you have to take a lot of decisions, which you might not have to had done before, because you have the support of your family. So I think one of the reasons why this was why so impactful for me, and the second one would definitely be because I have spent 15 months now just working in research, and that has significantly impacted my career choices as well in the future, because that is something I do want to incorporate once I move forward. So that, I think, is probably one of the most impactful decisions of my life right now.
Yeah, that's again a very, very good answer, Dr. Ariba. Anybody else wants to answer? Or Dr. Dr. Ali, do you want to answer this question? Or anybody else?
I don't have a special answer for this question. Like, I would mostly talk about me moving to the US and getting engaged and stuff like this. But maybe I would think about it more.
Dr. Gupta, one question. Was my answer too long for this question?
But you speak really well. Like according to me, I would just in my perspective, you speak really well. But yeah, you can just little bit more concise it. Otherwise, it was a very, very good answer. Like you mentioned how you moved from Pakistan to Philadelphia as well, right? So you
Yeah.
mentioned a lot of things in that. You can just simply little bit concise it, but you speak really well.
All right. Thank you so much.
That's my perception. Anybody wants to add, they can go ahead. So anybody else, Dr. Bushra, do you want to answer this question? Do we have Indu
I
with us?
don't know whether it sound good or not. I should say it or not. That taking my CK exam was the biggest decision because I just passed from the stair just allowing to 15 days before the exam. Everyone was saying that no, don't go for it because your preparation is not up to the mark and due to my injury as well. And even at that time I was not mentally prepared because I was thinking that the exam will be going to be 9 hours long. I have injury in my knee, how would I sit there? But the main motivation was that I want to give it before applying to the match so that uh, I can apply it in this match. That was the only motivation. So I did, even with that much pain, and the result was awesome,
So yeah, that's a very, very good answer,
beyond
Dr.
my imagination.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think like you can talk about this, but only party don't mention that my preparation was not up to the mark. You can talk about the injury part that you have mentioned. So that is
so
a good thing.
absolutely. So you can just frame it in a way that I had an injury 15 days before the exam, and but I worked really hard for. But that again traumatized me because it was very difficult for me to sit for a longer time. So everybody, around me gave me a suggestion not to take the exam on that particular day because of my injury, as the exam is 9 hours long. But I had worked really hard for that exam, and I was very determined to take. So I was like, no matter what, I'll take the exam on that particular day. And when I had the results in front of me, I just felt that my hard work really paid off. So that's something like that should be your answer. Otherwise, it's a very, very good example. Like you have an injury 15 days before, and then you have to sit for 9 hours. It's not a joke.
Thank you, Ashma.
That's a very,
Thanks
very.
for the feedback.
So you could just little bit rephrase it. Otherwise, it's a very good answer. Yeah. Anybody else can go ahead with the answer. Okay, then I'll just give the answer, right? So the biggest decision of my life so far is planning and pursuing my USMLE journey and my dream to do my residency and practice as a doctor in the US. Definitely, I am coming out of my comfort zone, leaving my family and friends back home. But yeah, I won't shy away from even telling everyone that I won't even shy away from saying that it was a dream to become a doctor and come to US since age of 7. And I think we get a life once, and we just we should live it to the fullest and have no regrets later on. So that's why I pursued my dream. But yeah, it was one of the difficult decisions of my life. It's a bad answer. I just need to frame it well. So
See,
anybody?
Ayushman, everything was good, like, but don't show so much attachment to the like motherland. Otherwise, that could be tricky for you. Like you can talk about the difficult part, but don't show so much attachment. So be diplomatic that way.
So I can even add, like, coming from a small town, I didn't have much knowledge about the USMLE journey. So slowly and steadily, I gained knowledge by interacting with more and more people. So that's why I was able to reach this point. And yeah, it is like I had. Okay, I'll just frame it in a better way. Thank you so much, Dr. Sapta. Anybody else wants to answer this question?
Just a little feedback on your answer. I would suggest that try to focus a line or two on how positive the decision has been on your life.
Okay. So like
Okay.
I'm positive about this decision because maybe like staying in US for the first time in my life outside my it was like I never lived anywhere outside alone. Shifting to there was no other city in my country where I moved alone, but it was the US for the first time where I lived on my own. So I feel that added a lot to my personal growth and helped me evolve as a human for sure. So I can just add it to my answer. Thank you so much, Dr. Ariba. Yeah, Dr. Smriti, go ahead with your answer. Dr. Samriddhi, you just raised your hands. So you can just go ahead with your answer. And then we'll shift to the next question, last question. Or anybody else wants to answer this question, like before shifting to the next question? Or even if somebody joined late and they want to talk about why they switch their specialty from one to the other, or about the year of graduation. So Dr. Surya, I think you even are changing your specialty from one to other. Do you have an answer to this question? Okay. Okay, then we can just shift to the next question. Like nobody wants to answer this question, so yeah. Okay, then we can just shift to the next question. Like why do you want to leave back your family and come to US? Or how would you deal with your family back home when you're working in US? Anybody wants to answer that question, Dr. Sapta?
I will get back to you after some time because I'm having my dinner right now. So,
okay. So, do we have Dr. R with us? Dr. R, do you have Dr. R with us right now? Like you can just answer like your perspective, why, how you deal with your family back home, or anybody else wants to answer this question?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, perfect. So the question is, how will you deal with your family back home when you miss your family back home? Or why are you okay with leaving your family back home, coming to the US and working here? So yeah, so I hope the question is clear now. So yeah, Erika, go ahead with your answer.
So I just thought about it. I haven't drafted it, so it will be very rough. I've been staying away from home since the age of 18 when I moved to the other end of my country. And my family is kind of used to it. And even after medical school, I was working all across India. So I've been away from home. And coming to the US has been my dream, and my parents are very supportive of it. And only when nobody from my family has ever gone out and lived outside India, except my sister who's in Dubai right now. So only when I move out, go to the US, only then my family can follow. So it's a good thing for them also. I want to break that vicious cycle of staying in India, continuing my generations there. I just want to go and follow my dream, and my family is very supportive of it. So yeah, that's my answer. I need to rephrase it. Yes.
That's again a very, very good answer. Like you have been staying from away from your family for a very long time. So yeah, that's what that's very easy for you to deal with that for, of course. Yeah. Anybody else has an answer to this question?
I want to take a try at it.
Doctor.
So yes, definitely moving away from family and coming to US it's a tough decision, but it is, I think, important to step out of your comfort zone again to make to improve yourself, to become more independent. And I wish that, and I hope that once I'm in residency, that my residents and my co-residents and my program director and we can have a nice supportive family sort of an environment. And I think that is something important that I look for a program, and that should having a strong support system here is always going to be very supportive and will make it easier for you to be away from family. And in the future, perhaps once I'm more settled in here, I can have my parents come here and provide for them as they provided for me when I was younger. So that would be my answer.
Very, very good answer again, Ariba. Anybody else?
Can I take this answer?
Sure, go ahead. Feel free to answer.
So I don't have an answer ready, but I can try to answer this. So having worked in different parts of the country back home and then moving to a different country, so I was in England before coming to US. It has not been very difficult for me to make this transition, and also I have family support here in US as well. So this is something which is uh, not very something which is very concerning for me, but um, yeah, that's what I was thinking of saying, that I have family support in both the countries, so I can always come and go back even during residency and after the residency. So
Yeah, that's again a very, very good point in your favor that you have lived in that country. Definitely, like since like even Erica mentioned that it's easy for her also to make a transition because you guys have lived away from your family for a very long. That's a very good answer, right? And that works in your favor that you can easily adjust to a new place.
The only thing that I would like, it's again, like Ashman said, it's a very, very good answer. The only thing I would avoid is like where you said that I can come and go back before and after residency. When you say it like that quickly, it kind of, at least for me, it kind of gave me that slight impression that you plan to go back to your home country after residency. I know it's like you just said the answer, but like when you're like
yeah,
framing it to say it in a proper way in an
right.
interview, just like frame
Sure.
to avoid.
Okay. I meant to visit them, but probably you mentioned it right that I shouldn't say that I'm
No,
trying to go back.
yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. Like this is
I
not
got
your like framed answer that you would give in an interview. This thing, but like just to keep that one thought in mind when framing the answer.
sure. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
but otherwise it's a good answer.
Instead of you, yeah, as Dr. As mentioned, instead of saying that you visiting them, you can just say my parents are very supportive and they can visit me like whenever I need.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point too. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, Dr. Mohammed, go ahead with your answer.
Yes, thank you. So I have a good relationship with my family since the beginning of the trip. They were all the time supportive for my journey. In fact, they sponsored and they financed my trips to different countries because we don't have a test center in our country. That's why I had to travel. So they supported my whole journey, and they were new of the outcome of it. They were the persons who taught me that I should go after my dreams and I should have a goal in life. So they expect that I am going to match, and this is something that pleased them. They want the outcome, and they know that if I achieve my dream, we're going to have a good communication. I don't have as long as they're happy, as long as I'm achieving my dream, even though we're far apart, but we can still have good communication by social media means, and hopefully one day, yes, I can get them to the United States and stay with me for a period of time. Thank you.
Anybody wants to give a quick feedback before we move to Samriddhi? Like,
if I could say something about the last response, I would say that we need to focus more about our feelings more than our family's feelings, because I felt like the last answer, the focus was on my family being supportive more than anything else. But I think it's good to add that my family is supportive, but in the end, I think they need to know that I am okay with it and I can deal with it. That's just my feedback.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. That really makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Luba, you were saying something?
Yeah, the same thing that Dr. Ali said, but I just want to add an extra point that when you said the match is they want me to match this year, so also this is your own dream, like okay, they will support you on this, they will highly want you to do this, but I think it's better not to mention this. This is my own, opinion. Also, it's up to you to say it or not. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll go with Samriddhi. Go ahead with your answer.
So I have answer for both the questions. Should I go for the first one?
Yeah, just go like in whatever you want to answer first. Then just first mention the question and then go ahead with the answer.
Okay, so the difficult decision that I have made so far, I would say, is firstly to pursue medicine. Definitely coming from family of engineers, I was not aware what medical school would bring in, the curriculum and the difficulties that I had have to face in future. So that was definitely a difficult decision. But with the help of my mentors and my colleagues, I was able to adapt well to the medical school, and I did good in my medical school, and I graduated from one of the best colleges in India. So after graduating, the second decision that I had to make was to pursue postgrad in India or in US, and I chose to pursue USMLE, which I would say was one of the best decision and the most difficult as well, because it came with its own challenges, be it the visa or be it the 8 hours long exam, which I wasn't well accustomed to. But again, with the support of my family and mentors, I did well in my exam, and I'm here today in front of you and interviewing for this position at your esteemed program. So I'm really grateful to you and to my family support as well. So thank you so much for this question. It was really a very interesting question for me.
Yeah, your second answer.
So second answer, like you said, that why US or how it would be difficult for me to come to US. So definitely leaving your homeland is challenging at times. But with my 8 months of USC, initially it was difficult to adapt to the new culture and the language. Of course, people were different. I made some friends who were Spanish speakers. I did rotate in various departments where I had to make use of the interpreters to to take the history from Chinese speaking, Mandarin speaking people, or be it Spanish speaking patients as well. But with time, I got accustomed to it, and I got to know how to use the interpreter during residency as well. And while rotating in different states, I have rotated in almost 3 states with 5 different cities. So I made friends there, which helped me to uh, to do better during my rotations, and even to stay for 8 months from to stay 8 months in US. And even I have a family as well. My sister lives in Pennsylvania, so that's also I mean, that's also like a stress buster. So whenever I get some time, even from during my rotations, whenever I had some time or long weekend, I would go to her place, and we would enjoy our weekends. So having a support system is a great advantage in residency. So I think I will take advantage of it.
So your sister, you will not only visit your sister, your sister will even visit you in your free times, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what this answer. Otherwise, its answer is very good. Like it's a very positive point that your sister stays there in Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
and just having emphasis on that point, it's very very important. They know that you have somebody to depend upon in US, right?
Yeah, yeah, true.
Anybody wants to give a feedback, quick feedback, and then we shift to Shruti, and then we shift to Aliga. Okay, like we'll go with Shruti. Like it was also Dr. Samriti, your answer like was very good.
Hmm.
Right? You even stressed on the fact that how you did your 8 months of USCE, which is not a very common thing.
Hmm.
Right? That much experience again that you highlighted that's a very good point as well.
Thank you.
So yeah, Shruti, go ahead with your answer, and then we'll shift to Dr. Aliga.
Yeah. So I grew up in my hometown and I did my medical school here as well. And both my parents as doctors, and the Indian medical system is all that they know. So it was a little bit hard convincing them that I wanted to do something different. But I've always been free spirited and independent, and um, so I stuck to my decision of coming to the US and leaving the familiarity and comfort of my home. Uh, was definitely not easy, and it's not going to be easy in the future as well. But I do want the next few years of my life to be about self discovery. I want to challenge myself, and I want to embrace a world of diverse opportunities. And I feel like that's where I'm going to find the most growth. So, yeah. And because in our time, yeah, sorry, wait. So because of social media and how globalized the world has gotten now, it's much easier to connect with family back home. And personally, I have gotten much more closer to my mom and dad when I was in the US because, yeah, it worked out. They liked talking about all the differences in the American healthcare system and the Indian healthcare system. So I believe that it's only going to be distance wise, we're going to be far apart, but emotionally, we're all going to be much stronger and grow together as a family. Yeah, that's my answer. Any feedback, please? Thank you.
Anybody wants to give the feedback before we move to Ali? Anyone? Okay. So according to me, Shruti, that's again a very, very good answer for sure. Right. So Dr. Om, do you want to give a feedback?
Not much. Like I thought it was like a complete, like, well-rounded answer. I really don't have like much to say on this. It's a good answer.
Absolutely. So yeah, Ali, you can go ahead with the answers. Dr. Ali.
I would say, despite my family being always supportive of my dream and my hopes, I think it's very difficult for all of us to be apart from each other. But some of the things that I think will help me to adapt to this, the first thing is the presence of technology, which can help us to connect to each other as much as we like to. The second thing is having a lot of my close friends and a lot of my distant family here in the States also can help. And the third thing is being part of a program and a community that is supportive, and knowing that many of my fellow residents and many of my fellow seniors are going through the same thing that I'm going through will definitely be something that that can help me to adapt to these new changes. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good answer again. Yeah, Dr. Sapta, go ahead with your answer.
Okay. Okay, thank you for asking this question. Of course, it has been a turbulent journey. Like the transition from the land of diversity to the land of opportunity, where I can grow constantly. But the best part of the journey is the unconditional support and cooperation of my parents. Being progressive, they have always taught me to break the glass ceiling by your achievements, and also making the journey inspiring for other underprivileged people. So nowadays, like as the world has been a great global village, connectivity is much better. They are quite fine, and I have also relatives and friends like kind of a supporting hand when they need. So, and also like as a travel lover, they are excited seeing US through my eyes, and also like seeing the next generation growing a step high ahead with more opportunity. So that's what I'm right now managing, and it has been a good experience so far. Any feedback?
Dr. Sapta, you don't need any feedback for your answers. They're very good every time. Anybody wants to give the feedback to her? Or like anybody else can answer this question as well?
I want to say something that in the initial session when we did this same question, that why US healthcare system, the things we discussed were that EMR system, the holistic approach, and the multidisciplinary approach. So I want to ask that which way is better? That uh, can we answer it in this way or the other way? When the question is why US?
So why US? Definitely, like we can just say, we can just start with, like you have done this many, like you had this, like if you ask me that question, I would definitely say that, I have done these many months of USCE, right? And, coming from that, that's it. Like the question are different, not that they're not, the question is not why US, right? Right now, the question, like the previous question was, what are the most important decision of your life? And this question is, how would you deal with your family back home?
Yeah, you have to talk something which is, helping you to like kind of adjust with that situation of staying away from your parents. It's not why you are choosing US, it's how you're dealing with that gap.
Because when somebody's asking you why US, then you can just come up like, I have these points in my mind, EMR, or maybe the ethics, or the multidisciplinary and holistic approach that the US healthcare has, or maybe the preventive medicine. You can definitely talk about those points. But yeah, right now the question is different. So I hope, Dr. Bushra, your answer is cleared. Yeah, so Dr.
I
O,
got it.
do you have an answer to this question? Do you want to answer? Give it a try. We haven't heard you for a long time. Okay. So anybody else wants to answer this question, because still we have 18 minutes to go. Yeah,
I
Dr.
think I want to
Hi.
make a try. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I have a very bad cough. So, yeah, okay, sorry. So I used to like coming to US is not like it's the first time to be away from my family, because even during my med school, I was away from my family because my school is almost like uh 200 mile away from my family. So I used to see my family like one a month or two every month, once every 2 months. But because always it's my dream to be in US and practicing medicine in US. So I'm okay now, and especially with the social media, I can video call them all the time. And actually, the good news now, I just get the email last 2 weeks ago about my parents. They approved to come to US to join me here. So I think it will be an easy after that, especially during my residency training. And also, I'm a very easygoing person, so I have a very I made a family. I made a I mean family from my neighbor here. So we participate in a lot of events from like holidays and all those things. And besides, I have a lot of Sudanese families here also. They are very supportive. Sorry, it's not. I think I don't want to make it too lengthy. Any feedback? It's not organized, but I think I will talk about those things. Yeah.
It's a wholesome answer, like you mentioned about you can, you're a very easygoing person, you make friends very easily. Then you even told about like the parents have a visa and they can travel to you anytime they want. And the third most important point is that you have lived away from your family. So this transition is not a very difficult thing for you. So it's a complete wholesome.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Yeah, Dr. Sapta, go ahead. You just raised your hands.
Oh, sorry, it was like,
okay.
It was before. Okay. I need
You
to.
want to answer this question?
Hi, so I'd just like to give my answer to this question. Just not drafted well. I just jotted down some points. So basically, sometimes we have to lose something to gain something. And I believe to achieve this dream of mine, I know that I'll have to go through certain challenges and I'm ready to face it. So for instance, I did have to leave Dubai, where I have been brought up, and had to go back to my home country, India, to complete my medical studies. And it was difficult initially, but eventually I adjusted to the change and became more resilient and adaptable to the environment. And I believe going further, I'm going to use those strengths of mine to adapt to the environment again. And I believe in this era of video calls and social media and all this developing technology, it has definitely become easier to keep in touch with your family wherever they are. And again, I believe the emotional support weighs in more in situations like these. And I think as long as we have that, it's all good. But again, I also have family members and friends living in different parts of the US, which is great. And I think I can reach out to them and visit them whenever I find the time. Thank you. Any feedback?
Anybody wants to give a feedback? then when nobody speaks, then only I have to give a feedback, and I just give the answer. Give a feedback.
Yeah, go ahead, Ayushman. You can give me the feedback.
But I don't like it. I'm not expert. Like I'm like naive. Like
No one is, to be honest. No one is.
So Sana, according to me, this answer was good.
You had been an expert by speaking constantly, by giving feedback in this last 1 month. You have already been an expert.
No, I am not. Like when you ask me anything, I don't have answers to that. So I just need to sit down and work on my answers.
But I think you're quite spontaneous, and which is a great thing. I mean, I wouldn't be able to speak like this. You definitely needs a lot of practice. So yeah, you're doing great.
Sana, I think it's a good answer. Like you mentioned about like you have been brought up in Dubai, and from there you transition to India, and now you can easily transition to back to a new country as well. And the second most important point is you talked about your family and friends in US, and depending upon like the program you have, if you have a family in that particular state or in that particular area,
Exactly, yeah. That's what I was thinking too. I should tailor the answer according to the program and the state. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And also, like, saying that thing that you are already a frequent experience, you have the frequent experience of, this transition. So you are quite acquainted with the process. So that way also it is going to be helpful for the PD that, yeah, see someone who will be readily, I mean, she's someone who will be very easily adjusted to our system and our like place. By saying so much attraction
Right.
to our own home or family or home country is sometimes going to be
Could be a
negative.
little negative. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're right, Dr. Sapta. Thank you. Also, I just wanted to ask like a general opinion, advice. Like I have jotted down these points, so it's becomes easier to like look at those points and read. Like, what do you people do to speak so smoothly and have a good flow? It's becoming so difficult to like remember all these points because we don't know what questions are going to come up. So I know practice makes us perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Ultimately, no one can like remember the paragraph. We cannot like mug up. We
Exactly.
have to be spontaneous. But only thing, at least the incident, just keep some incidents in your mind so that you can start talking about that exact thing when they ask you.
So
Right.
Like
Yeah, I
talking
think.
same incident
Mhm.
for memorable incident, for difficult incident, for difficult challenge. We can make our own story as per the question, but the incident is same. So that way we can talk.
So yeah, I just got a recently of my first invite, and it's written in the email that I can just to keep a separate like I can just keep a separate place during my interview where I can just jot down the important points I have in my mind, right? So they're okay with that, even if I keep something on side where I can have a look if I fumble somewhere or if I need some help, I can use that. So that way I just jot down some important points to every question, and I can just use that maybe so that I don't fumble and I have a good interview and I just maintain a fluency. Yeah, but that's mentioned in that email. Otherwise, even you can do that, like it's not visible, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong in doing that, right? That's not.
And I will say, I will just
Yeah,
keep
I
that
just
page just like back of your camera, not in the front, so that
keep on the side of your laptop.
yeah, like in a stick-it note or something that you can just jot
yeah,
down the
in the
points.
wall or
But
something, so that they
but
will
I
be
believe
able
it
to.
shouldn't. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I believe it shouldn't be like they shouldn't have this idea, oh, this guy is like, oh, this person or this girl has like
Yes.
really
Yes.
memorized.
Yes.
So that shouldn't be shouldn't come out as that. And I don't think that would be a good thing. Like as long as it just points and you're just, taking
Yes.
a look at it when they're asking you, I think as long as it's that, I think it's fine.
You can just point some things in big letters and you can just fix in a wall so that it will be very spontaneous to look, and even the PD won't be able to notice that it's not like eye contact or you are not doing eye contact, it's something else. So that way.
Like like in my case,
Right.
email, so I can do that, right? It's clearly mentioned. You can just note down the points and you can use it.
So Asman, have you got an interview? So congratulations.
Thank you. I just got recently one. Now don't ask me the program, and I'm
No,
like.
no, I won't. You just first do your best, then we'll see.
So anybody else wants to answer this question? Like still we have 10 minutes more to go. Like that we're getting a lot of interesting points and new perspectives as well.
Hello.
So I was just listening to you guys. Thank you for your all responses. Just my story is kind of different, but I don't know if it's good points to use. So I will just give you the idea. Thank you for your question. So what about my family being the only child of a divorced family at the 12? I realized that the most important in life was the independence and the own happiness. So I would say both of my parents, my mom and dad, they have their own families now, and they do support me and cooperate with me. Like my dad is living in Germany, and my mom is living in Georgia, but in different cities. So besides we are territorially separate, we do we are in touch with other, we support each other, and deciding to follow the path of medicine, I knew that there would be the one day that I would move to USA. So during my clinical rotations in USA, I found out actually to be in the comfort zone there because I do love diversity, and also I had experience before that. I was an exchange Erasmus student back in Hungary. So I was there for 7 months, and what I felt was that I can relate myself as a global citizen because I do love to explore different cultures and make friends with different people. So I would say shortly this is my answer, and thank you for this question.
Yeah, I think it is one of the most connecting answer to PDs in US specifically. So they're going to know that you're genuine. So you can definitely talk about this. They're not going to judge you by any means because it is something which is not very uncommon in their setup. So you can definitely talk.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And in fact, they will understand from this incident that how much hardship and I mean, many different things are also they are going to know, like how much motivating you are, and how much motivated you are to pursue this journey, and maybe you have gone through some emotional or like family issues, but still you are pursuing your career, so that you are more dedicated. So that way, a lot of things they are going to know, and they are going to appreciate that. I feel.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to answer this question, we still have 6 minutes to go before I end the meeting. Anybody just go ahead. Even if you want to answer any question, you can just come up with you can answer the question of your choice. That's fine.
Yeah, is Abid here? Can I talk to Mariam's answer?
Sure, go ahead. Talk about it.
Yeah, so what I come to know, like, we do not have to mention any family problems. See, what they want worker. Like resident is purely a servant. So they want dedicated servant. Definitely, it's tough. I realize that it's really tough to come up to this journey, but they want someone which is completely dedicated. So definitely, in the answer, you show the dedication toward the USMLE journey, your toughness in the night, tough time, but you do not show your negative, which will affect what I think to your means. If see, I'm very practical. Like if the other person besides you is dedicated, he or she says like I am dedicated to do work, I am comfortable, then they go for with them. You got my point. Sorry for your my tough, but I think so. Sorry, Mariam.
And can I add something to Dr. Abid? I agree with what he said, because sometimes you don't know who's interviewing you. You know, sometimes those people are family-oriented people, so they don't like the idea of okay, I don't have that attachment with the family, even though I know like a lot of people. Their families are divorced, whatever. There are a lot of they don't speak to their parents, whatever. There's a lot of stuff, and mentioning up these stuff in front of people that you don't know their backgrounds or whatever, they like or do not like may be a negative point in your, not in your, like favor. So I would suggest not mentioning those personal, like issues, or even given it in a way that you in your advantage, in somehow Dr. Maria mentioned that she's independent, blah blah, but still, like, the idea of the person maybe family oriented is really a big no, when they might not judge you or whatever, but still, like, they may feel like, oh, okay, so they may not have any attachment to the maybe a resident family, like we're here like a family in this program, blah blah, so these kind of things. So also I'm with Dr. Abid regarding this. So I don't know, that's also my own point of view.
So Dr. Mariam, you can just take it.
Can I say something? I honestly, I don't see it. I see so many positives in that, and it shows how independent you are, and it shows that you've gotten through all the personal conflicts that you've faced, and it shows how self-reliant you are. So I honestly feel like if you want to talk about it, you should talk about it. You can just say, yeah, my dad lives here and my mom lives here, and I've grown up and I've been very independent my entire life. I'm very self-reliant. So even when I'm in the US, I feel like I can work well in an unfamiliar environment, and I can make friends easily, and I make connections easily. She can spin it in a positive way. I don't see anything negative in that.
Exactly.
It shows so much of your personal story, and it makes you you. So yeah,
exactly, that's what I said. Like, try to take this into your your own favor. You don't want to take this negatively, or you don't want to take it to a one side. So you have to satisfy both sides in a way somehow, and take it in your advantage. So that's what I said.
I just want to add, like, I mean, you have to portray in a way so that they will understand that you are in a very stable and comfortable position. I mean, what I have heard, they don't like someone who is like in an unstable condition. But talking about some family issue is not like you are in an unstable position right now, because this is not something which is very uncommon in US. If it would have been a big issue if it's from like country like India or some developing country or something like. But in US, it's having nowadays is more than 70 or 80%. So if you are still comfortable, stable, independent, and if you have overcome in a very positive way, if that incident or something has made you, as a person more matured, more responsible, then I think that is going to be in your favor.
Yeah, it's not an issue. We're not speaking of it as an issue for sure. Like, it's something normal. A lot of people, go through it. It's not an issue, but just like, I'm saying we don't know the person that is interviewing us. That's the only thing, So yeah.
But Dr. Mariam, how you have overcome that very gracefully. That's something that we need to applaud for sure. So just don't show that that's your weakness, but that's your positive point. That's your strength, right? You might have mentioned that in your CV as well. So it's fine even if you talk about it, but show it in a very positive light. And you reaching this point, really 7 months of United States clinical experience is a big thing in itself, and I think you should take it as a strength for sure. And I think you just mentioned like you didn't frame your answer well. So when you frame it, just try to show it in a positive way, which is actually in reality as well.
Can I add something?
Go ahead.
As a rule, which I come to know, like in an interview, we should not have to disclose two things. It is family and the second is finance. So the family part I understand is purely personal part. Like we can always use for our benefit, like Dr. Shruti said, Dr. Sapta said, and like Dr. Ruba said, we have to use as our positive way. But no one normally asks about your family directly or your finance. So we always have to use it for our benefit in the positive way.
So yeah, Dr. Mariam, when you frame your answer, you can just keep these points as well in your mind, and you can just frame the answer in the best way you can. So,
thank you guys for all this feedback. I do really appreciate it, and I just got a reflection. Thank you very much. I will make it more positive. Maybe I wanted to say like very quickly, and I may accentuate it on negative points, but I will add the part that we are very connected. I visit them. They will like they are planning. They applied for visas and stuff like that. So we are really connected. Maybe I I did get the impression that we were very disconnected, but I got the point. Thank you very much for this discussion.
So yeah, when you answer the question, you can just even ask about the feedback. Like you can switch on your cameras and ask about your camera quality or even the sound. Like, do you need to lower down your voice, or you just need to up your voice so that you are clearly audible to it. You can just even do that, right? You can just use as an opportunity and just ask for a feedback for that as well, right? So I think anybody wants to answer, like I can end the meeting because we are 1 hour 30 minutes into the meet. Anybody else wants to answer this, or you can just even post the questions you want to take tomorrow, like the 3, 4 questions you want to take in tomorrow's meet. And yeah, that will be interesting again. Like now we have some interesting questions as well, and now since people are getting more and more interviews, so we have you can get a perspective from them as well, right? Like yes, yesterday Dr. Suraj mentioned, and today Dr. R even talked about her experience. Maybe like in coming time more people will get the interviews and we can just listen to them as well, right? And talking about a mock interview, you can just post in the group. Actually, anybody is looking for a mock interview, and you can just do it over there. I didn't create a breakout room over here because everybody over here is not comfortable doing that, right? And randomly assigns people to the breakout room. So I don't want to I don't know if everybody is comfortable doing that. So you can just post in the group whenever you want, and you'll definitely somebody will reply to you, and you can do the mock interview with that person, right? That's what even I am doing. Like I just text people if they have time, that's well and good. Otherwise, I can just talk to ask somebody else as well, right? Anyways, thank you so much for joining and see you tomorrow. Have a good
I had a question about the background of the interview. What is an ideal background? Like, is a blank wall fine? Can we blur our background? Do we need to put something in the background? What do you guys think is the works best?
I'll just add a plant to my background. That's it. And my ring light is on my right over here. I just place it behind my table on the other side, so that there's not much of a light here. There's a equal light everywhere. That is what I would do. But yeah, anybody can just, if have your better ideas, just come out. You can just let us know here.
For that, I think in like day before yesterday or like maybe a day before that, Dr. Suraj, he was like recommending blurring the background and this thing. So I think his setup is like really good. So I think if we go back to this thing, go back to that like video which will be uploaded to that channel, right? If you go back to that video, uh, Dr. Suraj does talk in depth a little bit about how he does his like interview setup with like what angle the camera should be, how to blur the background and all. So I would suggest you go back and watch that video and like look at his camera and like try to emulate that.
Right. And you can just even switch on your cameras and you can ask for the feedback, like is it right or not, right? There's no specific angle that we have, but yeah, you can just even ask for the feedback that you have. Like Dr. Suraj had a very good posture, like at that point of time, and I just appreciated that. And I would just do that for the same for me, right? So you can just even watch that video, plus you can switch on your cameras while answering and just ask for a feedback from like regarding your voice quality of the camera. Right? That will be
Thank you.
Purpose of this. Yeah. So, Ridhi just mentioned in the group any pointer on when you should think that we should stop our answer. Sometimes we tend to drag, right? So, anybody wants to answer that before I end the meet?
I think like again, is something that Dr. Suraj mentioned like in previous meeting and like it's been discussed here as well. I think like the key is to observe the interviewer themselves. Like based on that, like they'll like you can kind of see where like they're kind of starting to like lose you. Sorry, I mean like you're starting to lose them, and like I think that would be like it really does depend on the situation, right? Like if the interviewer is actively listening, then I guess continue. But if you feel like you're losing them, I think like it's a pretty good point to like stop the answer and then move forward.
Right. So I think I'll end the meet right now because people are even leaving the meet. So thank you so much everybody for joining, and Have a good day, night, depending on your time zone, and see you tomorrow. And you can just post the question in the group. And yeah, Dr. Samia, you wanted to add something? Go ahead quickly.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, guys. I recently joined. I am really getting a lot of help from these videos. I just would like to see if you guys have any recording for the most common questions, like tell me about yourself, weakness, um, strength, this kind of question. Do you have any recording for that?
So we have the recorded sessions available on YouTube. Dr. Surya, he posts them every day on the YouTube. You can just check them out. I think he has even mentioned the questions below the video as well, and he posts them in group every day. So I think after today also he posted in the group, and you can just go to his channel, go through the previous videos, and that might help you. I hope like that will help you a lot.
Okay, thank you so much. And the channel again, what is the name of the channel, the YouTube?
He just send in the group. He just post in the group. I think like Dr. Surya is here, and you can post that in the group.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And yeah, sorry, just to like give some more this thing context is that like
Recording
it's every day
stopped.
I guess like 2 or 3 questions are like being are being addressed. So you'd have to check out like multiple videos. I would recommend like if you want all the important questions, the earlier videos. I think at the start they were like the multiple videos covering it. So all of them would need you guys would like need like look at like whoever wants to like this thing. So yeah,
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
no problem.
So I think I'll end the meet. Okay. See you tomorrow. And thank you so much for joining once again. And tomorrow we'll meet with some good new questions as well. Just feel free to post in the group and we'll take up your questions. Thank you so much and have a good day and night depending on your time.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.